Hi, welcome to Camp Chats. I am Hillary Bird, the managing editor here at Chicago Parent, and this is all part of Chicago Parent's virtual Camp Fair week. Today, we are so lucky to be talking with Colette Marquardt. She's the executive director of the American Camp Association here in Illinois, and she's going to explain some of the really important things about camp and why it's so important to send your kids to help some of the soft skills like making friends. And Colette, why, how does camp help those kinds of things? And how is it going to be a big, big help this year in summer 2021?
Thanks for having me. The This summer in particular, more than any summer, children need camp. They need social environments to um, strengthen the skill sets they already have around friendships and working with other people, as well as build new skill sets or rebuild skill sets that may have lessened over the last year, especially if they've been home and isolated or doing only virtual education and not been able to be part of that group setting. And the benefits of the camp setting when it comes to making friends and developing good relationships is that that's the focus of camp. That's what we do. That's the social emotional well-being of children is the ultimate goal of camp, and then we use all the fun and the tools and the games and the activities to help achieve that. But that this idea of helping them learn how to work with other people, how to live with other people, how to make friends, how to keep relationships strong with friends, those are all that's what we do at camp. And this year more than ever, all children need it.
That's what I love too about specialized camps. Like if you find out that when your kid loves an instrument or a sport or robotics or something like that, is they kind of get to go and find their people. They find out that they might be in a smaller school and they're one of only a couple of kids who play the flute, and they go to a music camp and they get to find more people who have those same kinds of interests, and they're like, oh, these are my people. And get to be a part of people with those same interests, and make friends with those people who with those same interests. That's one of the things I loved about camp, and even going to a lot of those specialized camps. It's fun that those are still open this summer.
Yeah, and that is, that's like a what I call is the double win of camp too, is when they do get to go to a place where they get to refine skills that they enjoy, they enjoy learning, I suppose, is, and also maybe they need help with too. Um, and so they get to do that and they get to make these new friends that are often also from, in your example of like music camps, are from other places. When
Yeah.
oftentimes we go to school in our local community, and that has great benefits, certainly for the local community, for the child. And then just by going to a camp and meeting other people from other states or other parts, if you're from the city, meeting somebody that's from rural Illinois, that's cultural education, that's inclusion, that's learning about the world in this different way. And I mean, that is an important skill and developmental process for children as well.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'll be honest, I grew up on a farm, and going to camp and the number of people who are like, "Whoa, wait a minute, you grew up around tractors," is really, it's crazy, but you think about it, if you are from the city, you don't know those people and you don't see them, and then you get to bond and you learn things. And where I didn't grow up in the city and wasn't really able to walk to the grocery store, that just seemed completely insane.
Yes.
But it's having that cultural interaction with somebody who grows up differently just because they don't live in the same place is a lot of fun, and making friends with them and finding those common bonds even from somebody who doesn't have a lot of experience with tractors
Exactly.
is
And
one of.
that they carry that, right? We carry that as your example here into how you work as an adult with other people and how you can interact with the world around you. And it's just so wonderful to give children that opportunity.
One thing that's really fun that parents can do to help their kids make friends is send mail. And so I've got to ask you this year, is sending mail much different? Is it discouraged? You know, because you can send a care package that everybody in the cabin gets to enjoy. Is that going to be any different? You know, this year, worrying about COVID and worrying about any other kinds of implications.
That is an awesome question. And that the answer to that question actually is the same every year, even before COVID. It's important to check in with your camp's package policy, I'll say, in plain terms. So different camps have different expectations about, can you send food? Can you send toys? If you send food, do you need to send enough to share with the whole cabin? So consult with your camp about that. And then with the COVID piece, um, mail, as we know in our community, is relatively not seen as a spreader of COVID, but certainly there needs to be some consideration about packages and whatnot. And then also, depending on where your camp is located, so what might be okay where you live, maybe based on your local health department regulations or your local COVID metrics, might be different than where you're sending your child this summer in another state or area of even Illinois. But if you're going out of state, so consult your camp, just ask, and chances are it's going to be in your confirmation packet
Oh,
because it's a common question. Can I send mail, and where do I send it?
right. It always makes you like the most popular person in the world to even get a letter because you get to hear your
Mhm.
name and when you get to a mail call and even if the cabins are smaller and you don't have as many, especially when you don't have as many kids attending just to keep capacity numbers lower, it's fun to hear your name and all your friends get to pat you on the back. You've got mail. That's
Yeah, yeah. And you're talking about some of the really cool mail traditions and creativity around mail at camps. And some of the, when I was a camp director, some of the greatest packages that would come would maybe be with a fresh deck of cards. And then your child can play cards during the rest hour with one of their new friends, or a coloring book, or, it doesn't have to be something too big or elaborate or costly. Those little trinkets help the experience.
Oh, that's such a fun idea. I didn't even think deck of cards. That's such a
Mhm.
wonderful, wonderful idea. Well, Colette, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been such a fun conversation.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.